the high priest and ceremonies. This is interspliced with ethnographic of disseminating knowledge realized through these rituals involving the body, symbolic objects, and chants spoken in the tonal language of Yoruba onto the page in English. Harnessing their background as a performer, they imbue the structure of their poetry with a tonality and music that is hard for the English language to fathom, but they create an opening for the reader to experience its affect. Omojola navigates the fluctuation of perspective and tone over the course of the book without neglecting the questions that open the work. Posed to us by the collective voice of the village, how should we respond to sickness in this place? How do we expel sickness from this place? How will we know when the sickness has been expelled? Was sickness always in this place? To attend to these questions is a ritual gesture of the book. Nothing gets put back ceremony. Ceremony is survival. Survival is joy. Omojola repeats in the first part of the book. This collection is an experience that places the seeds of joy as a revelation amid suffering in the palm of its reader. Please join me in welcoming Funto Omojola.
Nothing eats me, yet I hear the dead. Avert my eyes to the stock black of the ridge's head. Peer over, exercise in estrangement is really mouth-coating scene. Should we take off our shrouds? I bury the dog in equal dreams. How is it she brings me back to the face of the rock? This side of the grave, I dig for limbs evenly also. First the shame, first the pity, first the brook, first the halt, first the drool, first the falter, first the sight, first the sin, then the throat, 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 then the throat. Hi. Thanks for being here. Thank you to Nipa and Segue and Artist Space. I just entered to hear. I'm going to read a section from a winding long form piece. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm curious what you are. In Balabu Market, a buffalo became a woman, and a woman became man. Like the buffalo saw its own hunt and sleep, the woman saw and dreamt up the killing of her own body. And everything she spoke became a proclamation of emptiness. And God revealed itself only after she circled the ruin 100 times, and her breath became a sacrifice. There are those that return and remember the ruin as it was. Then there are those that return and forget and plant the familiar's crops in the same dirt. It's true that you don't have a village until you leave it. And then when you leave it, you can never go back. Ruin was the coastline that guided my grandmother's life. She was a woman who sold goats in the market and carried their heads home, left their bodies in the sun behind her. Her people collected between the Volta River in the west, and then Niger to the east were known for casting bonds. My grandmother traded disobedience for visions like Eve, spoiled at the mouth and collected what she was owed. Life among men means something is ruined in all times. Life among ruins means something is scorched at times. To cast the bronze, the oil first poured molten into a mold of displeasured soil. By scorched, I mean a respite is cooling. 7 times over, my grandmother washed her shrouds at night and dried them in the morning to them ceaselessly. In the end, the bronze work is hollow. The metal is allowed to cool and shrink as it solidifies in its form. The last thing my grandmother held was soil, and then she died. The last thing my grandmother held was me, and then she died. We ruined each other, and then she gave me her dreams. In one, she finds a vulture in the sky, follows its steady soar with her finger, but it turns out only to be the shadow of a stone. The whole can also be a temple, she says. To begin a slaughter, the devil speaks in barred voice. You called me the devil because you knew, like most wolves, they were children to take care of you, that my calling out was a calling out when it only belonged to something that is precious. The devil and Yeshua are always the same. A while ago, the white people confused trickster with tormentor. I've always known what it looked like when Yeshua's name coiled himself around my leg. In sleep, my grandmother taught me how to know its multiplying by the way the dirt rolls behind my foot. The devil calls me away in a boiling sweetness. I fed a dog I didn't have, buried it in equal dreams. By then, I had been peeing in corners of my room and digging holes in the record to empty myself. At Vista, I found a woman who spoke the same language as me. All Lunacy wants is communion and sing tongue. I made offerings to my time. I adhered to my commands closely. I drank sips of water and breeze. I wore napkins in my discharge and rose of gate before my bed. Still, I was radically unaware of the reason behind its making. But I was a soldier. I called my name back to myself repeatedly, but instead of multiplication, of the disturbance of the original sound that brings me back to itself, there was silence, and my name sank into the ground and I couldn't see. This grew and grew until I touched it. To be radically unaware of the reason behind something's making is a radical position in itself. But the greatest loneliness is feeling that God no longer wants me. And only upon the collapse of the work do you become aware of its portions. I thought coming here and coming in this basement would be a sneak restoration of temporary fracture. Because I hear there are some people who can find words in English. I hear there are people who can say, I know love, and love is a ditch, and I have built one for you. But there is no sword here, there is no will, it's sin. All that is here is sifting the sand repeatedly until it is unroots of the mountain. Give me my life back, I need to see. Going into pastures. For a while, it's only me. I put on a linen jacket wherever I can fit it, peel skin, shave, make the room of my dreams. But then the second tells me my twin daughters are going to love me, really love me, and be obsessed with me. It's an immense of decorating room and elderly clothes and vessels. I prepared the entirety of the ocean gives cookbook and book sugar items. Maybe wash your room, but it only takes a handful of guests to tap on something swimming before you realize, wow, you can't go through the same way anymore. And what a silly thing it is to not really be able to share. By the time they found another, she would We found my mother rolled over the bed, screaming, my child, my child, my child. What is this tumbling place where only I am center and rule? What is this tumbling stage around me and around me, where your gestures and sticks curve towards my chest? In a different time we're gathered in perfectly shaped places. In a different time, a warm cloaks around us. And we're preoccupied with where the cloak will land, not with its projection. In a different time, sun is shining by a fisher egg, and men who fish an egg and egg sun. What is this silent place where iron edges cascading? Purpose or not, quickly not sound. In 1943, Grandpa Abel rode his motorcycle to AGT and broke his arms on his way down. The people at St. Gregory on Vasili Street covered him in plaster of Paris, and he spent January with arms outstretched like Jesus. There are not many disciples left. We can tell you there were 300 surgeons in the hospital that day. There's one who doesn't think I understand you, but I understand you perfectly. Focus your mouth. I can ask Earth Body if I'm going to be okay, or I can try to read the lips of the man who I understand perfectly. Again, I fill my sacks with novel things, aged and aging, being brought together into my college. All day, in the sand, sickness, loneliness, and gospel. Again, I fill my sacks with novel things, aged and aging, being brought together into my college. All day, sickness, loneliness, and prosper. Again, I fill my sacks with really shiny and favorite things. All day, on the sand, sickness, loneliness, and prosper. Again, I fill my sacks with really shiny and favorite things. All day, sickness, loneliness, and prosper. Again, I fill my sacks with really shiny and favorite things. All day, sickness, loneliness, and prosper. Again, I fill my sacks with really shiny and favorite things. All day, sickness, loneliness, and prosper. We gather here, compound and flaking skin and wine. Compound of saving bags and bags. You a compound of shredding, me a compound of sticks. You offer me eggs, I offer you a thigh, a radiant stabbing. Mercy. Deferral is a sensation and a circumstance. The worms are insisting on borrowing now as we've met here and worked out our relationship. Praise unto me, purveyor of truth, seed and prayers. But I have made no promises of extension. The man with the needle is stabbing my thigh, and thanking him for his dedication, for his devotion. His accuracy is awe-inspiring. The visitors and sowers, how they open God's tree for us, how they open God's strength for us, how they harvest, cultivate, open God's view for us. I often am partial. We met here and made an alliance with the Lord and God. I am ashamed to say I'm comfortable. I have peace here, but I begged for this. I was lonely. Dead, mysterious, dead. We gathered here pleading for a desiccation of the head. What sticks do you have on your tongue? What hooks do you have inside your mouth between teeth? Your child is very sick, and what of it? Your child is a spirit, your child is a girl, and what of it? Your child has been drained from her abdomen, and all flavor is food. Dear, swelling, welling, wailing, I gathered here today for a moment I will try. The first time I can walk again, it is on stilts, where I'm laying. My vision is waning still. I can see that on Omojola road, villagers are stamping feet, gathering on raising and raising and weeping from hell. Still, who told them to drain them out of wood? Who told them I am forgetful sin? The first time I can walk again, it was on stilts and I am laying my visions raging. Still, I can see how the national road villagers are digging into lungs from the tunnel for an autumn skip was now. Still, who told them I was stacked as a tone? Who told them I am strong and whose throat? Who told them I would die by fire, die by fire, die by fire, die by fire? The first time I could walk again, it was on stilts and my rain, my visions waiting. Still, I can see that over national road villages with vomiting spears like shrouded mouths. Still, who told them I am premonition body? Who told them I am politics and restitution? At Sunday service, I'm afraid my mother is gone and that she will notice me sitting on my fingers. I love you, I love you, I love you. I didn't know it until I lost you. Its verification isn't mechanical, isn't wholly just digital, but screaming and collapsing is also a kind of love. If you find a girl in the bush, leave her there. If you watch a girl beat her head until the noise leaves, carry it in your chest, make a nest out of her hair. If you watch a girl beat her head until the noise leaves, then body beating floor. That morning jacket not as covering but for every face I own. Then body beating floor is girl waiting long between sheen. Then it's like we're dancing now, these still stems. What is the sound of wiping yourself off of the floor now? Pa sing song today. Pa sing song today. Pa a disco until dawn, then dawn. The dances, dancing, dancing, man, man, every dance today. Pa to tap today. Pa pray today. The type of friend that offers mercy today. Pa anonymous today. Pa animated today. Pa press her fingers in temples of anyone in the village who will accept today, who will allow today. Pa victorious today. Pa victorious today. Pa has stones he's sitting on the bed today. Pa is worshiping today. Pa fig-figging today. Pa sad today. Pa rooming today. Pa glorifies today. Pa sanctimonies today. Pa sacrilege today. Pa do-it-dilly today. Pa raise with legs today. Pa float today. Pa proper thing today. Pa burning thing today. Pa be a bird today. Pa sacred today. Pa feasting today. Pa embrace today. Pa unfroze today. Pa be room today. Pa sleep room today. Pa sleep soften today. Pa sleep sloping today. Pa astound today. Pa astound today. Pa a spelling thing. Pa a spell thing. Pa a felting thing. Pa a felt thing. Pa a bludgeoning thing. Pa a bludgeoning thing. Pa a arriving thing. Pa arrived thing. Pa a showing thing. Pa a show thing. Pa a wounding thing. Pa a wound. Thank you.
Alright, thank you so much, Peter, and thank you to everybody who just joined us. Once again, my name is Dante Silva. I read Neighborhood Books, and I'm incredibly pleased to introduce our next reader, Lauren Cook. I saw a screenshot of Lauren's work years ago, and we couldn't go viral back when that was still possible as a phenomenon. It was a text that read, "Here is my kinky role play. I am an honest person. I am not ashamed of myself, the things I do, the things I create. This makes my life very easy to live." It's my first book, I Love Shopping, which was first published by Lowering Press back in 2019, but it was just reprinted over at Neighborhood a few months back. It's also a film made in collaboration with Maya Martinez that I watched with a few of you a few weeks back. And both projects are just once kind of rigorously playful and playfully rigorous. There's all of these offbeat observations that come from a cast of offbeat characters, and all of those characters come from this consciousness that is hilarious, but actually hilarious, and also incredibly democratic. It considers school plays alongside the sexual reproduction of orchids, and also asks about chicken souls and celebrities, and skateboarders in heaven, which is awesome. It's referred to as presentist, as being really of the present, whatever that means, and it's something that I think about a lot as I read this work is the abusive potential of the present and what that means. I think if there's a central logic of the present, it is consumption. We are all consumer citizens, yada yada yada. And if that is true, then shopping is actually something that is really charged and potent. At least it is here in Irish shopping in this work. It is this way of looking at the world and what it has to offer and asking what we want out of it, and how so much of who we are is about what and how we want, and also these incredibly human impulses to collect, to categorize, and to cherish, as we live in this world that is just so adamantly against human life and liveliness. So in that sense, I think this book as a sort of scripture. That's how I described it, as part of the scripture. For living life, maybe not as how we want it to be, but as it has become, which is really strange and absurd and misshapen, but maybe still full of these bright, pink moments, and those are what I'm after. Thank you so much, Lauren, for being here.
Hi everyone. Thanks everybody for having me. I think I'll probably just get right into it. I'm not reading anything from I Love Shopping, unfortunately, but it's sort of thematically related, I suppose, probably. This is like a longer form thing I've been working on for a while now. This is like a piece of it that can kind of stand alone, I guess. Okay. I drive for a living. A lot of people drive for a living these days, but I specifically do a food delivery service app. I go pick up people's orders and I bring them to their houses and leave them on their doorsteps. I take pictures of it in front of their houses to prove I dropped it off. That's so I can prove I didn't steal the order and eat it myself. Nobody is running a scam on me, not on my watch. I started out doing this job because I wanted a way to have control over my own time and be my own boss. I don't like being told what to do. I don't like job interviews. I don't like showing up on time. I don't like anyone knowing shit about me. I don't like coworkers always in your business trying to get you in trouble. But the money DoorDash driving is semi-decent anyway, and now I'm used to this lifestyle, so I quite like it. It's better money than anything else I'd be able to do because I don't have many skills. I'm not trying to be down on myself. I'm proud of not having the skills you need to make money in this shit society, because I have plenty of other skills. You'll see as I keep telling this story. Whenever tax season rolls around, my shit is fucked from being a 1099 employee or whatever, but other than that, no complaints. And I barely even pay taxes anymore anyway because they don't deserve or need my money anyway. I can stay in my pajama pants and a hoodie all day. No underwear, balls hanging, wear whatever slip-on shoes I got, flip-flops, gotta get those toes out when you can. I can get stoned as fuck, chug a couple energy drinks and get buzzing off that caffeine and taurine. I love drinking so much caffeine that my heart feels like it's gonna explode, especially after I just get stoned. Sometimes I get a big ass iced coffee too and make my guts bubble. I can get my own food too while driving and listen to my music, blast that shit and just fucking vibe. When I used to work regular jobs, I'd show up late for the first interview so they thought that's what I was always like and could never tell when I was or wasn't stoned. I live and work where I grew up. It's not too small here, not too big. Rural, not a lot of money here for locals. No jobs unless you work at a school, hospital, or prison, or Walmart, or fast food. I know a lot of people, but not everybody. It's changed a lot though, especially in the last 20 or so years. The internet has changed the world, as you probably already know. Some people with money have moved in and have some vacation homes. Sometimes I deliver orders to their houses. I guess it's changed everywhere though. That's what everyone says. I wouldn't know because I don't go that many other places if I'm being honest. I stay close to home. I like checking out neighborhoods though, what's changing. I want to know who bought the house that used to be owned by my dead aunt's cousin or whatever the hell it is. I want to know who's renovating the old movie theater, whatever, fuck it. I try not to think about shit too much, like how much the world is changing, but I can't help it. That's why I like the peace and solitude of delivery driving though. I can do a lot of thinking, and I'm the kind of guy who's naturally curious in people too. I like people's stories, I like getting to know people and listening to them. I like believing them, I like hearing them out. Everyone deserves there's that. There are a lot of people in this world that nobody ever listens to. I wish I could make a wish with a genie and fix that. And I wish we could be 1, world peace. 2, everyone gets heard out. 3, endless weed in head. Haha. I'm mostly kidding about the weed in head. I would like that, but I'm too serious when it comes down to it to waste a wish on myself like that. I like holding on to all these things inside my brain though. Lord knows I got a lot on my mind. What's pissing me off though is I recently noticed this guy fucking following me everywhere. He has a blue Honda Accord from like 2005 probably, and he's everywhere. And he has a Vermont license plate, so it's super noticeable because there's so few people in Vermont, so it's like super easy to get a vanity plate that would be taken easily here in New York or some other populated state. So his plate just reads Peter, so I assume his name is Peter, and he's following me because he's fucking gang stalking me, probably recording everything I do and reporting it to the government. The world is scared to see a guy like me living his best life and thinking what they don't want him to think, being who they don't want him to be. I'm a TI, or a targeted individual. I'm being stalked by people doing surveillance on me. That's what gang stalking is, in case you didn't know. The government uses mind control and allegiance to nationalism to make random civilians into agents to stalk people. It's this whole crazy thing that sounds extra insane when I explain it, but I guess it's also why I like making my own schedule. You may be thinking to yourselves, why have a job driving if you're getting stalked? But the thing is, no matter what you do, they'll ruin it. So you think it's just about being followed around in a car, but it's not. They stalk my social media, so I'm not going to post that much anymore. They have access to everything, my bank accounts, my phone, my loved ones, my jobs. They seem to always know where I'm at. If I'm not chilling, it sucks so bad I hate it. At the store, I'm always tweaking out because I'm a suspect of everyone. They do it to make you feel isolated and alone and hopeless. They do it with the goal that your life becomes so unbearable that you kill yourself. I'll never give them the pleasure of killing myself ever. And no matter what, I've made it my duty to enjoy my life despite it all. They can choke. By the way, I don't give a shit if you believe me or not. I got no fucking reason to lie, so think about that first. And before you think about anything else, remember you can stop reading whenever you want, fuckwad. I planned my whole life around this though. That's why I hate jobs, that's why I hate existing in society. I'm not going to the damn ass mall. They don't fuck with me in my house in the woods though, thank Jesus, or at least they don't come down my driveway. The worst they can do to me right now with the way my life is make my phone crash or make the food delivery service app go down for a little. I don't care about the following at the store in my car. At day jobs I've had, my coworkers have been gang stalking me. I watch everything I do, tell my boss who's a federal agent everything to get me fired. The gang stalkers don't want you to have money. Sometimes they'll make me have overdraft fees or fuck with my bank account. I've had people I know personally turn into people gang stalking me before. One time this woman who cut my hair would follow me to the grocery store and write down what I bought and report to the government. She was really sweet at first. She worked at the beauty college where they gave really cheap haircuts, like $10 haircuts from what I remember. I haven't been back since though. But when I first started going, we talked a little bit. She seemed nice, always gave a really good haircut. I never expected anything malicious from her, but I guess that's what I get for letting my guard down. Then boom, all of a sudden, every time I'm at the grocery store, she's there, and I can feel her presence being different. I'm an empath that way. I can feel whatever control they do on her to hide her real mind and make her do their subconscious bidding. She was different, and it's nobody's business what I buy at the store. I stopped seeing her a few years ago though. She was probably reassigned to someone else when they shuffle around agents. The goal of these federal agents is to intimidate me. Their plan is to make you feel trapped, like you can't keep me on living your life this way. The torture never stops. Another time, a bunch of guys who work for the county would pretend to be doing electrical work outside my old house as a cover-up to listen to everything I was doing and saying in order to use that to blackmail me later. That was so scary. That honestly almost drove me to the brink, man, made me go crazy. I had to do everything I could to not go out there and kill them all. Now, honestly, I'd never do that. I know there's real people under the government programming. I know it's not their fault they're being used as shells to ruin the lives of innocent civilians by stalking and harassing them. I always wonder what they must tell the agents about me to make them agree to stalk me on behalf of the government. They must tell them I'm a very evil man. I'm not though, that's the crazy part. I don't even know what I did to be put on a federal list like this. Sometimes TIs can kind of track the events that made them be of interest to the feds to begin with, but I can't. But I hate them manipulating the electricity too, and I hate not feeling like I can be myself at home. They're taking that right from me. I need to be able to relax and chill after a long day of work and I don't have some peace. So I had to move. Those are just a couple examples. By the way, they can turn anyone against you. It shapes your ability to trust people. That's the most damaging part in some ways, because it keeps you super isolated and paranoid, and like I said, I love people. I used to honestly get so lost wondering why me, what did I do? Because sometimes it feels so cruel, like what the shit. I have a thick skin by now, though, don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna let them get to me. I gotta stand my ground. I will get my life back. I gotta stay positive. Get this though, I started following that fucker Peter back lately just to mess with him. Anytime I see him in town, I follow him for a few blocks, recording him back like, oh yeah, you like this? And he gets scared looking and pissed and drives away. We've been playing this game for a little bit. The other week I followed him to the bank. I saw him driving to mess with him, and I followed him on the line to use the drive-up ATM. I sat behind him in my car and I honked and yelled at him, and I said, I know what you've been up to. And I laughed because I simply had to laugh at how ridiculous he must have felt being caught in this situation. I wanted to humiliate him and let the world know I was on to him. He, of course, pretty soon pulled out the ATM and sped away. He's a coward when it comes down to it, just like all other gang stalkers. They're programmed to deny and avoid. He's tall looking, lanky, blondish hair, at least blonde hair for a grown man to have, and blue eyes. He looks like he has some type of sad secret. And probably that secret is the fact that he's gang stalking me. Fuck him. The other day I'm picking up an order for someone at Arby's. I haven't been to Arby's in a minute, so honestly I was pretty happy to go there on behalf of someone else. I always thought it was cool they had curly fries, even though everyone was always hating on them. But guess who's parked there? Peter from Vermont, dude. I hate this fucker. Recording my conversations, tapping my phone, harvesting my guy, he's loving this shit. He's torturing me, and it's this crazy game where he's constantly teasing me too. I feel like a goddamn cuck, rubbing my face in and stalking me so blatant and obvious. You gotta think of it like this. I'm a really sensitive guy. I'm sensitive to the electricity. I'm sensitive to 5G. I'm sensitive to manipulation and stalking. I'm sensitive and my heart beats for Peter. Nobody's right should be infringed like this. He should be free. He shouldn't be hurting me. Hey you, yeah you. I turn around because I hear a voice in the parking lot behind me. I turn around and it's Peter. Fucker, get this though, he says to me, I know what you're up to. And I'm like, what I'm up to? What are you talking about? I know what you're up to. You're gang stalking me. And I've been trying to get you to stop for weeks. At this point, my vision is sort of blurred. I'm blacked out with rage with this conflict. I want to fuck this guy up. Peter bursts out laughing real deep, almost in his belly like loathing or something. He says, I think you're mistaken, bud. You're the one following me, trying to ruin my life. I paused, sat in the air for a second. Nah, that's when I really couldn't believe it. I'm gang stalking Peter. Whatever they program these people with is really good stuff, because this guy was deflecting. In that moment, though, I thought to myself, wow, Peter sure is captivating. I was absolutely speechless at how dumb and crazy this shit was. I felt myself waiting for the moment to build for so long, and in this conversation between us, it was clear he felt the same. We were both obsessed with each other. I was actually stalking him in revenge. Only thing was, I was different. I was keeping the data to myself. He was reporting all this info about me to the government. I wasn't taking it to some crazy level. I was trying to protect myself, standing up for the rights of a man in this country. Individual stalking, not big corporate stalking. I said, I'm not gang stalking you, I do DoorDash. I held up the red insulated bag in my hands they gave me to put food in. He looked down at the bag. I guess that's the perfect cover for a gang stalker then. His face didn't look convinced like the bag was part of the disguise. I suppose so, I replied. There was no getting through to him, I realized. I felt for him as much as one could feel for their gang stalker. I wondered who the man underneath was behind all this programming. Like I said, I have a big heart. Alright, I gotta get this food now, I drove off. We held eye contact for a second, then Peter abruptly got in his car and left. He pulled out of the lot, fast and hard, and flipped me off. His sad eyes were completely changed with rage. This was the first time I was scared he'd take revenge against me. It never even crossed my mind before. Usually gang stalkers are easily placated and non-confrontational. They'll just deny to the end of eternity but never escalate. What the fuck was going on this time? That night, I'd have a dream. A dream about water and electricity. We weren't allowed to drink water anymore. I don't quite understand the details. There was someone walking door to door in town telling everyone. It was my first grade teacher, Mrs. Bale. She was a nice older woman, probably dead now in reality. I'm way too old for my first grade teacher to be alive. Well, I'm not old, but I'm like 40. I'm still a chill guy though, so don't forget that. In my dream, she was young though. She looked so hot to me that when we come to the door, she looked like a hot woman to be supple. She wanted to comfort me in that moment, and I wanted to let her. I felt for my cigarettes in my pocket, and they shocked me with an electric shock. I ripped my hand away and shook it with pain. I grabbed them again, and there was no shock this time. I went to open them, and my cigarettes were soaking wet. I remember being pissed my cigarettes were ruined. I brought Mrs. Bale in my house and bent her over a table. I lifted up her skirt. She had a soft young bottom, a perfect ass. She was rubbing it all over me and moaning. I bent over and I lifted like fucking crazy for what felt like hours in my dream. Fuck, I made that shit so wet. It's hot just thinking about it. And then once I was all hard, I stuck my grip in her asshole and it felt so fucking good and tight. And then right when I was about to come in, my old elementary school teacher, she turned around and it was suddenly Peter from the fucking gang stalking. And his eyes were sad and filled with rage quickly while I pumped the hottest fucking load right in her/his ass. It felt electric and wet, and then I woke up covered in cum with my heart beating a million miles a minute and scared as fuck, feeling nauseous as fuck. I had to get some pussy after waking up. I felt gay and I wanted to get rid of that feeling, but I also felt full of energy like a bull. I don't even know why I'm talking like that. I'm not even like this. I'm actually kind of a nerd, honestly. I just like to be alone at the house, getting stoned, watching cartoons, making food in the air fryer. I do have a long-time friend situation with an old friend of mine, Eliza. She's a little older than me by like 10 years or so. She's about 55 or something. I've known her a long time and seen her change, and she still looks the same in the most important ways to me. And I know I've gotten real ugly too over the last 20 so years, and she still likes me plenty. But we never left each other, and we aren't in a relationship. We started hooking up when I was 20 and she was 35. She was a bartender at a place I go to a lot that doesn't exist anymore when I used to drink. I don't really drink that much anymore. And I'd stay until she was off work, and I'd take care of her right then and there after she closed up. We just have each other in town. She listens to my stories and I listen to her. She has a few jobs here and there. She cleans rooms at a motel in the summer. She's a cook at a diner in the winter. She has an eyebrow piercing. She has some great tattoos she got in the 90s. She rides a motorcycle. She's a free spirit, a cool chick all around. I got in my car and drove to her house after I had a black coffee and got cleaned up nice, splashed water in my face, used a warm rag to wash off my dick and ass. She answered the door really quick when I got there. I didn't even tell her I was coming. She's used to this arrangement and stays ready anyway. I don't ask what else she's up to. Maybe she is close to other men too. Maybe she stays ready for everyone. I don't care. Anything that's sexy as hell too, haha. She looks beautiful. Her hair all grown out with gray roots, the bottom half dyed dark. The whole house smells like stale cigarettes, dirty, darkened carpet, just from nobody ever taking their shoes off. I was about to wear my shoes in there too, part of the problem, honestly, if you think about it. The sound of a dog barking in a closed room somewhere. It also smells bright, maybe like essential oils or something, and girly too. Maybe like cleaning products or air freshener. She wore pajama pants that graced her lower half tightly. She was just wearing a push-up bra, pink lace that held up her tits and ankles. She let me and I kissed her real deeply, put my tongue in her mouth, all over practically down her throat. I bent her over the table right then and there. I started to grasp. This is where it gets crazy though, so you have to promise not to judge me. She turns and looks up at me, would fuck me in the ass. Brief glimpses of my dream last night flashed in my head, and I pushed them really far back. She never asked me that before. This made my prick rock hard. I spit all over it and shoved myself in her tight hole. After all this time, there was still something new for us to do together. She looked back at me, and I had one hand on her waist and another on the back of her neck, thrusting it out. She was freaking out like she loved it so much. I'm not one to brag really, except when I brag, but she was obsessed with this dick. She moaned and yelled, and I came deep in her really hard, just fucking her deep and good. I stayed around for a bit, shooting the shit with her and rubbing her back after a little, because she asked me to, and I'm not a monster. She works hard on her feet all day. I got her rub her back. I used to date this girl who I massaged her feet for hours and sucked on her toes, but she doesn't live here anymore. Anyway, I eventually went home. I opened a soda and I drank it fast, and I slept a long time despite only being awake a few hours. I don't know why. Maybe I was tired, but I don't think I did anything that crazy. Maybe the game stalkers were using electric and magnetic fields to make me incapacitated, similar to the ones they use on weather. I know there was someone or something meddling with me though. I had no dreams and I woke up like I was dead the next morning before the sun rose. I basically woke up screaming. I slept from 1 p.m. after fucking Eliza to 5 a.m. the next day. Fuck, I need to do some food delivery and make some money. A few weeks passed and I didn't think about Peter that much. I also didn't see him anywhere, which was amazing. I jerked into the dream a couple times if I'm being honest, but I also jerked it to other stuff too. But just because I jerk off to something doesn't mean I want to do it in real life. I thought about him nonstop for the first couple days though, but then I kind of forgot. It felt good to forget about the shit for a little while. Like I said, I just wanted my life back. Sometimes I forget I gotta put my phone aside for a while and lock in. The chip on my shoulder gets soggy from the sweat and the rain. So I stopped thinking about stalking him and who's stalking me for a little bit. Sue me. I took a couple days off from driving, watched TV, and disconnected from reality. Didn't think about breaking out of the matrix at all. Drank my fluoride water like a good boy. If you don't go outside and try to live a life, there's nothing anybody can take from you. All of a sudden, it's the next month and I'm trying to look up a table saw to buy on Facebook Marketplace. I'm always on there looking for deals, looking to flip shit. A smart guy always thinks on his feet like that, like an entrepreneur. That's what I learned growing up. My father was a really good man. He supported our family and taught me the value of the dollar and hard work. He also taught me to enjoy myself and to only trust a certain few, and to never trust big business or the government or anyone in charge. He worked really hard in his life until he retired. He got sick a few years into retirement. He got mouth cancer. He said it was from the chemicals in the factory he worked at all his life. The processing center. I never knew what processing center meant. What do they process? I still don't even know. They cut up his mouth, took his teeth out. He got sick and died, and so did the men he worked alongside with his whole life. When he died, I cried a whole lot, which I'm not afraid to admit for a man. I'm older now, so I know there's no shame in crying. Maybe when I was 20, I would have thought that was gay shit, but now I know it's what makes you a strong man. I remember after his funeral, I lit up a fat blunt in the garage. I looked at the big white freezer in the garage filled with meat from the deer he shot and processed and packaged and froze. I looked at the white fridge filled with his favorite beer and Dr. Pepper. I looked at his tools. I knew my mom would sell this house soon. I knew we'd have to pack it all up in boxes. I knew a certain way of living life was over. I knew a certain part of the way of life of routines that included my father were over. I knew I was a man in this world without a father, and I wept like a baby for hours. I wept all over into the fat one. Anyway, I'm looking for the damn table saw. I gotta go pick it up 45 minutes west, outside the county, in the neighboring county. That's fine by me. A nice drive to clear my head. Usually only a few agents following me on the highway here and there, but I can ignore that easily. I popped on the radio, listened to it fade in and out, and through the mountains, poured some sugar on me, crackled and fuzz, and I didn't even give a shit because I was just thinking about everything going on with me that's been happening in my life lately. The back roads were really pretty, really winding. I had to slow down two times for a deer. I saw a nice stream, and I wanted to come back and fish sometimes. I finally got to the house with the table saw. A real nice old-timer gentleman who reminded me of my father helped me load it into the back of the car. I paid cash and left. As I drove down the road, the man lived on back into town towards the highway exit. I passed the gas station. In the station pumping gas was a man standing by a blue 2005 Honda Accord with a Vermont license plate. Peter. I felt my heart drop to my stomach, honest to God, and I felt my dick throb like no other. Sometimes that happens to me when I feel super anxious and crazy and life feels hyper real. I feel intense feelings in my dick first before my heart or my brain. Next time I see Peter, I gotta sit down with him, I gotta spend time with him. I feel this immense change of heart like the only way to approach the beast is head on. To crawl inside and live there, to break it down and build it back up. I don't even know what I'm saying. I just knew I needed to talk to Peter again. I knew it would be easy because his ass was stalking me anyway. The thing you gotta understand is, I'm not sure what we were supposed to do together. I wasn't even put off by the gay shit because I just get horny a lot and that's how I process my thoughts. It relieves stress and helps you think, so I'm just thinking about all this government shit and knowing Peter holds the key. I knew we had some type of intertwined destiny. I know I don't have anything to fear when it comes to Peter. I got more to fear if I pretended this wasn't happening and let my life stay the same forever. So I'm back to doing the food service apps. I'm so good at this shit. I'm so nice, I never forget the beverages or the sauces, so I get good ratings and tips. People love a chill and nice guy. I can't say I blame them for it. In the background, I know I'm looking for Peter. Kind of crazy how I spent all this time following me everywhere, writing down everything I do, putting cameras all over the outside of my house and in my toilet, writing down, recording my phone calls and internet searches, recording what I buy from the grocery store, measuring the amount of semen in my balls, and reporting it all to the government. And now he's nowhere to be found. Crazy as shit, and the irony is not lost on me for sure. Where could he be at? I drive around town, I'm aimless. I decide to stop getting orders for the day. I need enough money. I'm about to head home and spark up, but I decide to go to the old bridge. I used to come to this bridge a lot through my whole life when I was a kid as a young adult. After my dad died, I did my best thinking here. I sparked up my joint here after rolling it. I smoked the whole thing with my windows up, taped the whole thing to my face. I want to be numbed out. I want to forget this shit. This burden is crazy. I gotta hold it all together all the time when all this crazy shit is happening to me. Shit that I don't even understand. Think about other people I know who aren't chosen for anything. They have easier lives than me. They go to school, they have families, they relax. They don't have the government trying to mine them for ideas and data. They don't have a wide network of agents stalking and doing surveillance and harassing them. I'm jealous of what I miss out on because of this. How do you even explain this to girls, to your close to friends, to your family? It's lonely out here. I wouldn't even want to freak out someone like Eliza about this too much, you know? Everyone's going to think I'm schizo for no reason, even though I have proof. And the truth is a lot of people face the same fate and destiny every day. So many people are getting stalked in TIs. I used to talk to some of them when I could tolerate the stalking on social media. It was nice to connect with other TIs. All types of people get being stalked, you'd be surprised. After I'm done smoking, I get out of the car and walk down alongside the water. It's just starting to be sunset and the light is that good light. Everything is open and beautiful. I can barely even comprehend it. I got this feeling inside me all of a sudden that someone was watching me, and obviously I'm used to this shit because all being stalking did. Maybe too it was the weed that made me geeked up in a crazy way and I started tweaking. Like I wasn't just some harmless thing stalking shit. Like I felt scared, shut to my door, and then I got back in my car and I felt scared, and like the way this whole thing felt scary for real. Like even though I had to talk to Peter, nobody wanted me to talk to Peter. Like for the first time I felt like an animal that could be taken at any time. That night I got home and had another wild dream. I'm exhausted as shit. I come home, unload my pockets on the kitchen counter, I take all my clothes off thinking I immediately into bed, don't even shower or wash up. I know I don't have shit in the fridge, but I start munching on sleep with saltine crackers that I left on my bedside table. I take a quick blunt out of my ashtray and smoke it. I turn on TV or whatever I'm on, let the sound and the light while my ass is asleep. I don't even remember passing out. In my dream, I'm a mole living in a hole. I live with one brother and one sister. They're different than the brother and sister I have in real life. There I are, my mole siblings. We cannot see well, but we feel so intensely. We have incredibly sensitive forepaws, which are strong enough to dig through underground tunnels we live in. We mostly eat earthworms, which are delicious in our favorite meal. Sometimes on rare occasions we eat isopods, which is similar to lobster. Every day we wait for the beast to come. We know the beast is coming because we can feel the ground shake. The beast keeps us from going where we want. The beast keeps us from feeling safe. The beast keeps us inside hiding. The beast long nose is shoved in our front door, and hot steam is blown in and out of our entire home. We hide in the back where the beast cannot reach. He reaches his arm and digs with long claws, but he cannot get to us. Instead, we experience a prolonged fear that lingers in our lives and shapes our everyday experiences immensely. We plan everything around the beast. My little brother turns to me amidst the chaos and says, "There's only so long someone can live like this." And then I woke up. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our readers, Lauren, Funto, thank you to Segue, thank you to James, Sherry, and then Christopher, to everyone working tech and the door. Thank you to all of you. Next week, I hope to see you all again. We have two fabulous poets, Rosamund King and Noah McField. Noah has a new book coming out in January. It's called it's this hijacking of Louise Bukowski's this canonical Nicholas Pruitt 6. But making it really alien and alive for our moment. So I will see you there. We have books for sale. Have a fabulous Saturday.